If there's a nation that has made a seemingly impossible situation possible in the agricultural sector, it would be Saudi Arabia. They have turned their desert into fertile land that has since become one of the major sources of their income. But how did they achieve this great feat? What strategies were employed to make this a reality? And who are the brains behind this transformation? Watch till the end to find out. Saudi Arabia is a kingdom on the Arab Peninsula, between the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. The kingdom has a total of 829,999 square miles of land area and 1,640.4 square miles of coastline. The kingdom has one of Asia's largest areas of land and the 13th biggest in the world. According to the report, the land area is about 309% of the area of Texas. Just like every other country, Saudi Arabia is blessed with natural resources. Aside from a large area of land, they are blessed with oil. In fact, they occupy the position of the world's second largest oil reserve. Their oil reserve is estimated at 268 billion barrels, representing about 22% of the global oil reserves. Oil production in the kingdom commenced in 1933. Documented oil exportation began in 1939, and as of now, it is one of the major sources of revenue. In 2017, Saudi Arabia accounted for about 12.9% of the global oil production, and reports have it that the oil in their reserve could last for another 80 years following the current extraction rate of 10.2 million barrels per day. Another natural resource Saudi Arabia has in abundance is natural gas. Their natural gas reserve is currently ranking 6th in the world record. It is estimated to be about 240 trillion cubic feet. They produced about 2,472 billion cubic feet of natural gas in 2008 and 3,001.7 billion cubic feet in 2015. Despite their abundant natural gas in Saudi Arabia, they are not on the list of major exporters due to their heavy reliance on natural gas for energy security. Their consumption rate is about 3,813.9 billion cubic feet. Phosphate, gold, and aluminum are also present in the kingdom. The Jalamid phosphate mine is estimated at 11.6 million tons, and its aluminum is about 4.4 million tons of bauxite. As of now, over 600 gold deposit sites have been discovered in Saudi Arabia, but only 5 of these sites are functional. The Sukhyabarat mine, Buya mine, Al-Hayar mine, Ma'adahab mine, and the Almar mine. Generally, the kingdom is ranked 3rd globally in abundant natural resources with a total of 34.4 trillion. They would have taken the first spot if not for Russia and the US, which have natural resources worth 75.7 trillion and 45 trillion respectively. Thanks to these mineral resources, a once underdeveloped Saudi Arabia became a highly developed kingdom that provides more than basic life essentials to its citizens. Let's talk about their challenges as a nation. Although Saudi Arabia has mineral resources, it lagged in the agricultural sector. This is because their vast space of land is desert and is unsuitable for agriculture. But over the years, they converted their desert land into fertile land that grows lots of crops. According to Joe Rogue, it is miraculous. The report states they are currently on the list of countries exporting agricultural produce. The fascinating part is that Saudi Arabia is among the nations suffering from limited water supply. Reports show that the kingdom receives only about 4 inches of rainwater a year, making her one of the countries with the lowest rates in the world. Oil is seen as the most important natural resource, but to the people of Saudi Arabia, water seems to be their top priority. The level of water scarcity in Saudi Arabia is about 500 cubic meters per capita per year, and it is a sorry state for countries with huge landmarks like Saudi Arabia. If water was such an issue, how did they transform the desert into fertile farmland? Saudi Arabia's agricultural sector embraced a positive change since the government employed several strategies. Thanks to these strategies, they increased land under cultivation from 400,000 acres in 1976 to millions of acres by the 21st century. The government made use of aquifers, which are a major source of water in the kingdom. They located and mapped out aquifers and estimated their capacity, and in the end, they drilled tens of thousands of deep tube wells for urban and agricultural usage. They also made water available through the desalination process, and currently they are the world's largest producer of desalinated water. About 27 desalination stations are at work in Saudi Arabia, producing over 3 million cubic meters of potable water daily. The Saline Water Conversion Corporation, SWCC, has been on the project, and as of now, the plant produces over 70% of the water used in the kingdom. They built over 200 dams to capture surface water, and it collects an estimated 16 billion cubic feet of runoff water per year in its reservoirs. The water collected via this method is used majorly for agricultural purposes. Another strategy employed by the government of Saudi Arabia is water recycling. According to reports, they intend to recycle about 40% of the water used for domestic purposes in urban areas. To bring their plan to reality, they built recycling plants in major urban industrial centers, and recycled water has been beneficial in the agricultural sector as it is used for irrigation of farms. Saudi Arabia, a nation with the lowest rate of water availability, vast desert land, a scorching temperature, and limited-to-date farming and small agriculture, has now grown into a nation with vast fertile farmland. A nation that barely fed its citizens years ago has turned into one that exports agricultural products that feed several countries worldwide. Currently, Saudi Arabia exports not just dates, but wheat, eggs, fruits, meats, vegetables, fish, and flowers. The Ministry of Agriculture played a role in transforming Saudi Arabia's agriculture sector. They provided research and extension assistance to their farmer. Saudi Arabian Agricultural Bank, SAAB, distributed grants and interest-free loans, and Grain Silos and Flour Mills Organization purchased and stored wheat and constructed flour mills. The government also offers land distribution and recuperation programs and funds for research projects that enhance the growth of agriculture in the kingdom. They also helped private sectors contribute to this huge feat by offering technical support and incentives, such as seeds and fertilizers, low-cost water, and duty-free importation of raw materials and efficient machinery. External bodies also helped the Saudis to achieve this feat. In 2022, KSA announced that they will be commencing in a smart farm program, a joint project between Saudi Tamini Markets, Japan-based Mitsubishi & Company, and Italian agricultural technology provider Zero SRL to develop vertical smart farms in the Al-Kharj area of the kingdom. This is to help increase farmers' earnings and enhance the kingdom's agricultural sector. The increase in farmers' earnings and the presence of superstores and hypermarkets also helped skyrocket the progress of the agricultural sector. It increased citizens' purchasing power and made access to farm produce easier. Are there any major plans for their citizens yet? The government of Saudi Arabia isn't stopping at what we've achieved so far in different sectors. They are always researching to discover ways to make life easier for their citizens, both the poor and the rich. They are developing a major project called Neom, a 500 billion futuristic city. The name Neom is a combination of the Greek word neo, which means new, and the M came from the first letter of an Arab word, mustaqbal, meaning the future, and the name of the crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, as the brain behind the project. Neom will spread across 26,500 square kilometers on the Red Sea coast. The government intends to divide Neom into 10 different regions, which include a floating port, a ski resort, and a mirrored city. There's a plan to make Sindala a luxury island launching for tourism. Trohana will be made a mountain destination. The Line will be the flagship city, and Oxagon will be house clean industries. The Saudi Arabian government also plans to have Neom house about 450,000 people by 2026 and about 2 million by 2030. The Line will eventually house about 9 million people, and its footprint will be about 13 square miles. This means that there will be a reduced infrastructure footprint in the Line, and the climate will be made conducive for the residents. Giles Pendleton, the executive director of the Line, said, "To a degree, the Line is Neom. It is the epicenter for all activities, the primary home for residents, as a vertical city with all the activities that will be there, and it is what it is." According to their plan, Neom will have the world's largest green hydrogen production plant, and all energy used by residents will come from 1,005 renewable energy sources. This includes the sun and the wind. There will also be hydrogen-based power generation, which will ensure a zero-emission and carbon-positive ecosystem. They plan to make Neom self-efficient regarding the food supply and using several innovative vertical farming and greenhouses. The juicy part is that Neom will have no roads or cars, and 95% of the land will be reserved for nature. For this reason, they plan to develop the next-generation mode of transportation called volocopter, meaning a flying car. It is going to be a mind-blowing feat when it becomes a reality, and according to the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, who is also the chairman of the board of directors, the line will tackle the challenges facing humanity in urban life today and will shine a light on alternative ways to live. We cannot ignore the livability and environmental crisis facing our world cities, and Neom is at the forefront of developing new and imaginative solutions to address these issues. Neom is leading a team of the brightest minds in agriculture, engineering, and construction to make the idea of building upwards a reality. A good thing is that they also contribute to developing other parts of the world. Saudi Arabia's government played a huge role in establishing the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, in 1977, and they have heavily supported the project of eradicating hunger for over 40 years. IFAD is a medium through which Saudi Arabia helps other countries' agricultural sector, providing them with food security. In conjunction with other Arab countries, they financed about 20% of the project's initial funding and the first and second replenishment. Even though they've done this much, IFAD hopes to get more support in the 11th replenishment, IFAD 11. According to them, it is more critical today than ever to ensure that there's increasing investment in rural areas as well as helping the world's most poor citizens get out of poverty. There is a huge chance that the government of Saudi Arabia will continue with the good work they've been committed to, which is helping the underdeveloped countries. The world is fast developing, and from the look of things, Saudi Arabia is in for it. They've done an amazing job in every aspect, especially the agricultural sector, and are ready to embrace the future. What do you think about the Saudis? Let us know in the comment section.